I hate my kids. If you have ever had this thought, and if you're having that thought right now, trust me, you are not alone. This video is totally non-judgmental, so whatever you hear here, do here, comment here, there is no judgment. No one is going to judge you. We're going to talk all about when you have this feeling that I hate my kids. So here we go. Hi, I'm Lisa Fournier from Miracle Maker Mom. I am a mom of 8 and a recoverer from parenting chaos turned parenting coach. And it is my passion to empower parents, moms and dads with awesome parenting skills. So if you are new here, you are probably going to want to subscribe or follow because we're going to have fun here. Today we are talking about I hate my kids. Now, I have to say that you are totally not alone. I mean, you probably know this already, but you know what? When you look at social media and you look around yourself, you go to the park and you see everybody smiling and taking pictures and so happy and everything's wonderful all the time. And trust me, it's not really like that on the inside because everybody has difficulties. Everybody has challenges. And I myself remember, my gosh, I remember when I had 4 little kids and then also when I had my 5th already. They were like a little gang going to like gang up on me every day. They were making messes and disasters. Every time I'd like turn around for even a second to nurse the baby or whatever, there'd be another disaster in the house. Like, I mean, real disasters, mud all over the place or floods. I had, I don't know how many insurance claims on my house from floods that my kids made. Flour that seems to have been taken out of the locked pantry and made into like a sandbox all over the entire like playroom. And then the no, you know, the obstinate or the OCD behaviors or the ADHD behaviors or, you know, never wanting to go from one thing to another, never wanting to go to bed. You know, I don't have to borrow you with all these things. I'm sure you know that there is enough in parenting to drive you absolutely crazy and you could go nuts. And maybe you are at the point where you are going nuts. So first of all, just seriously, no judgment here. No judgment. It is totally normal because you know what? When you have like a job to go to and you hate your job, then maybe you can just quit and go find another job. Or if you're with, you know, like you're living with someone that you just like you've had enough with, then just go live with someone else or like move out. But when you have children, you bring children into the world, it's not a job that you can really give up on. And it gets really frustrating, especially if your child is just, you know, become this obstinate, impossible, refuses to listen, and everything is a struggle, then you're just going crazy. And I totally hear you because I've been there too. I've really been there. I mean, I really, really, really have been there. So there's totally no judgment. You want to leave comments and tell me what is going on, what is your biggest problem. I am running to come and listen, to answer, to do anything I can to help because I totally hear where you are at. Now, where do we go from here? First of all, I have to say that once upon a time, I was in a very difficult situation. I had numerous kids with issues. My marriage was falling apart. Everything was happening at once. And I didn't even know where to spend the funds, who to get therapy for, what to do. And someone very wise said, well, you have so many things, you have so many people to take care of, and you have to first take care of you. So that's my very first advice. I'm really serious. I'm so serious about this. If you really want to get through managing to have like, you know, you've got kids who are being difficult and you're not managing through, or maybe you're just like working a lot and you have to manage a family and there's so much going on in your life, or maybe you have aging parents. There's just so many things people are going through. You've got to take care of yourself. Now, there's so many different ways of taking care of yourself, but you yourself, if you just get quiet for a little bit, close your eyes, do some breathing, and just listen to what comes up for you. You're going to know what you need to do. Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you just need to eat healthier meals or go for a walk in nature or take a break once a week and go out and do something fun for you. Maybe you do need some kind of, therapy, or maybe a coach or a parenting coach. Maybe there's There's so many different ways that people need help, just to help themselves, to fill up your own cup, because a mother or a father gives to their child by route of their cup overflowing. So if you're running on empty, then you're going to get so much more annoyed at your kids for even like the smallest things, just because you're on empty. You are at this, I read this cute little kids book recently where the grandfather's telling the grandchild that every person walks around with a bucket over their head every day. And, the water gets dripped out of the bucket for every, nasty thing that people say, or every bad thing that the person does, or they just get frustrated and they end up running on empty. But every time that you do something good for yourself, or someone compliments you and you feel like you've accomplished something good, your bucket fills up again. Like, that is so beautiful. It's so true. We end up running on empty because we haven't slept, because we haven't eaten properly, because we haven't exercised, because we haven't had seen the sunlight at all, or gotten for a walk, or because we haven't done something that we really love to do. Maybe it's artwork, maybe it's dance classes, maybe it's riding a horse. I was doing a body code session on someone recently, and she lives somewhere where there's lots of mountains and there's lots of skiing. So I'm thinking to myself in my head, maybe you need to go horseback riding. But instead I said, maybe you need to go skiing. And she says, I really love horseback riding. I'm like, I literally was just thinking that. Maybe you need to go horseback riding. Maybe you need to go skiing. Maybe you just need to go out for, coffee or dinner with a friend and just get away from it all and laugh about all the craziness, Humor is also so good when you're feeling like life is nuts and crazy and you can't handle it. So first of all, before you do anything else, just fill yourself up. I am so serious. And laugh it out. Sometimes when crazy stuff's going on in my house, I just go to my computer, sit down and type out a crazy email, just telling my family, my extended family, the craziness that's going on in my house right now. And I get to laugh, and then I feel better. Take a deep breath, and I go back out and deal with it all, So just give yourself those breaks. Secondly, if one thing that you've really got to do is, aside from the fact that you need to create a system in your family that your kids listen to you, they respect you, that you've got you've got that going on, which I actually recently created a webinar for how to get your kids to listen, respect you, without your screaming all day. So I will leave that below if you want to do a webinar. That's like a full hour training with tons and tons of content. Aside from that, I really feel like it's really important to get your relationship with your child in a positive place, which can be so difficult when the child is always no, 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 and then you're always getting frustrated with the kid and you're always batting heads with them. So how do you end up with a good relationship? So you've got to somehow put that aside and create positive moments with them. You want to when you have a bank account, you have to always be adding money in so that eventually when you want to make a withdrawal, there is money in there so that you can take some money out, right? You can't just take money out because eventually you just can't take anything out anymore because there's nothing left, right? So in a relationship, you have to add positive in. And when you have positive, eventually you can take some negative out. You can give the kid a consequence. You can make a request that they don't like. You can give them negative feedback, but you have to fill it up with positive, lots of positive. So find things that you can do with your child together. Go on, maybe there's outings that you can do together. Maybe there's a sport you guys can do together that you both like. Maybe it's something that your child likes. Maybe it's something that you like. I actually have another video that talks about 3 keys to developing an amazing relationship with your kids. So maybe you want to check that out because that's also got similar ideas. You've got to find ways of making an amazing, positive relationship with your child where you're just always adding good in. And it doesn't only have to be in a way that your child likes it, that you're complimenting them and that you're being all sweet and giving, and it doesn't have to be like that. Could also be something that you enjoy doing. Hey, I love playing basketball. You want to come join me and let's play a game together? When you ask your child to join you in things that you love to do, they often reciprocate yeah, hey, I know my mom or my dad loves to do this. I'd love to join you doing that. Hey, sure. Or to just do something fun together. Go out to the movies together. Go out and have a night on the town together. Do some things that you can just add to your positive relationship so that it doesn't have to be, do this, do that, listen, get here, go there, do your homework. It's So much of our life is just, like this sort of like circle that we're going in all the time, wake up, go to school, do your homework, do your chores, go to bed. It's like, it gets monotonous, and there's sometimes kids just want to have fun and want to have a break, and we have to like plow them through the schedule that they have to have. So that's also something really, really, really important. I highly encourage you to seek help, because when I was in a situation where I had 4 little kids and then 5 little kids, and my house was completely chaotic, I literally could not get my kids to bed every single night. It took me 2 to 4 hours to get my kids to bed. I remember even a couple times, this is like embarrassing, oh my gosh. No judgment, no judgment. I remember one time, a few times actually, there was, I had a friend move down, move into a place near me, and she had just gotten married, she didn't have kids yet, and I remember a few times actually knocking on her door at bedtime and asking, like embarrassed out of my mind, would you mind to watch my baby and my 1-year-old while I put the 3 and 3 and 5-year-old to bed, because I literally cannot get them to bed while I'm watching the other 2. I had 4 little kids. My husband at the time was working out of town most of the week, and I literally could not get my kids to bed. So she was like, sure, no problem. Oh, I love them. It's so exciting, little baby. So I literally, I don't even know what I did to survive those days. And many times I actually, when they were all finally sleeping, I just like cried myself to bed, or I don't even know what, but I was so frustrated beyond belief, because I was just like trying to survive the day. And you know what? The most amazing thing at that time was that a friend of mine was like, you've got to do something. Don't do nothing. Do something. And I went out and I took parenting courses, and I read parenting books, and I sought out professional help, and I asked other parents, and I did so much work to really, really, really improve my parenting skills. Because you know what? We're not all born knowing what to do. We aren't. I mean, people aren't born doctors knowing how to be a doctor. People aren't born being pilots knowing how to fly a plane. So why naturally, just because you can have a baby, do you naturally know how to parent? It's not so. So like, drop the guilt. I'm so serious. If you are feeling like you hate your kids because they're walking all over you, maybe you just need to find the right skills to get them in the place, in the parent-child relationship, get yourself in the right place. And there's no judgment here, because maybe you just haven't learned those skills. And I mean, I had really no clue. I thought that as long as I'll be positive and have a good outlook and want to be a good parent, then everything will work out great. Wrong. I had no idea what I was doing, and my kids totally walked all over me. I told you, they were like a little gang. Every day they'd be like, what are they going to do next? And it was insane. And the older one taught the second one, and eventually the second one taught the third one, and the older one also the third one. And it was literally insanity. And when I sought out help, I'm not saying that it was a quick fix overnight. Some things were pretty quick fixes, but there were, it was a process. It was like, the whole thing is a process. But you know what? I honestly feel like these kids are given to you. They're like plucked out of heaven and dropped in your plate, because these are the perfect things that you need to work on in life to become a better person, to become, like a greater person in the world. And I have learned so much from my kids, and I really think that I've become a better person because of them, because of their individual personalities. And I really encourage you to seek out parenting skills, parenting tools, to really look for, especially if you're dealing with a child that has some kind of some kind of issue, like in a diagnosis, like he's got ADHD or OCD or ODD or Asperger's or learning disability or sensory issues. I mean, there are so many things that can affect, your child's, what's going on in his life. I remember I had a sensory kid, and that was insane. I've had a few actually, but one of my first sensory kids would literally do insane things because of his sensory issues. So I really, really wish you a lot of luck. If you have seriously, I am here for you. If you want to leave your comments below, I am ready to answer any issues, any specifics of what's going on, how I can help. I am totally there for you. And there are no judgments. I am so serious. If you are watching this and someone leaves a comment, you don't judge them. because you can't ever judge someone until you were in their place. And you're never going to truly come to another person's place because you've never grown up as that person, had all the experiences as that person, and you're not raising that person's kids. And if, like my mother always says that she had her first baby, moi, who was this perfect baby, and she never understood all these mothers talking about their crying babies. She just naturally got her child to sleep. And then she had her second child, my brother, Bro David, hi. And he cried incessantly and all night long. And she was like, I will never judge anyone again. So you just don't know what someone else is going through until you've been there. So no judgment, honestly. Leave your comments, anything I can help you with below. I am totally here for you. And I want to leave you guys with this one really important message. And I want you guys to parent awesomely. Have in your mind, that you can parent awesomely. You can do this. You were given these children, you can't move out on them. And you know what? You can figure out what to do here. I am here for you. I want you to learn how to parent awesomely. And I want you to really believe that you can do that. I think that you like this video because you're still here, so feel free to like it and share it, and I will see you in the next video.